For as long as I can remember, we've all been told the same thing, right? Save $1 million and you're set. It's like this magic number, the key to kicking back and enjoying retirement without a single worry. But what if that whole idea is just a myth? Let's actually dig into that. We're going to run the numbers and see what $1 million retirement really looks like in today's world. I mean, think about it. Back in the 80s, if you were a millionaire, you were rich. That was the benchmark, no question about it. But that was 40 years ago. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. Today, that same $1 million, its power has just been eaten away. What used to be this huge symbol of wealth, now it barely covers a pretty standard middle-class budget. Okay, so how do we even figure out what a big pile of savings can actually give you an income? Well, there's this rule of thumb that financial pros have been using forever. It's called the 4% rule. The idea behind it is actually pretty simple. It basically says you can safely pull out 4% of your total savings in that first year you retire. Then, every year after that, you adjust that amount to keep up with inflation. Now, the key here is that the goal isn't to live like a rock star. It's a strategy designed to make sure your money lasts, for a good 30 years or more, without you running out of cash. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. Let's apply this rule to that magic number we've been talking about, $1 million. The math is super simple, but honestly, it's a little shocking. 4% of $1 million is just $40,000 a year. That's it. And if you break that down by month, you're looking at about $3,333. And get this, that's before the government takes its cut. So let me ask you, does that sound like the millionaire lifestyle you've always pictured? The reality check is, in a lot of places, that kind of money just barely keeps your head above water. We're talking about covering the absolute basics: rent, food, healthcare. There's not a whole lot left over for anything else. You're definitely not jet-setting around the world. You're living a very normal, very budget-conscious life. And just when you think that's the whole story, it actually gets worse. There's this silent enemy that's constantly chipping away at your savings day in and day out. Yep, we're going to talk about inflation, the silent killer of so many retirement plans. This quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Look, having $1 million on paper is still a massive achievement, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't automatically mean you're financially free anymore. It doesn't mean you can just sit back and let your money do all the work. This chart really paints the picture. On one hand, you've got your retirement income, that 40 grand, which is supposed to be pretty steady. But on the other hand, the cost of, everything, from your groceries to your gas to your prescriptions, that's always going up. It's like your income is running a race against rising prices, and every single year, it falls a little further behind. Okay, get ready for this, because this number is a big one. Let it sink in for a second. With an average inflation of just 3% a year, it only takes 24 years for your money to lose half of its value. Think about that. You're maybe halfway through your retirement, and that $40,000 you planned on, it suddenly only buys what $20,000 used to. That's a huge, huge hit to your lifestyle. All right, I know this is all sounding a little bit doom and gloom, but it's not all bad news. There's another huge piece of this puzzle we haven't talked about yet, and it's a big one. We need to bring in that crucial safety net that really changes the game, Social Security. So let's do the math again, but this time, let's get the whole picture. You've got your 40 grand from your savings, right? Now, let's add in the average Social Security payout for one person, which is roughly $22,000 a year. All of a sudden, your total income is around $62,000. Now that is a pretty big jump, and it makes things look a whole lot better. And that's the key takeaway here. Social Security completely changes how you should think about your own savings. That $1 million nest egg isn't your only lifeline anymore, having to cover absolutely everything. Instead, it becomes this incredibly powerful supplement on top of an income stream that's already there. Okay, so if $1 million isn't the magic number anymore, then what is? It's pretty clear we need to stop chasing this one-size-fits-all number and start thinking about a goal that's actually, tailored to you. So let me throw a new rule at you, the 25X rule. It's really just the 4% rule looked at from a different angle. If you're going to pull out 4% each year, that means you need to have saved 25 times that amount to start with, right? Because 4 times 25 is 100%. The reason this is so much better is that it starts with the most important question. What kind of lifestyle do you want? And from there, it gives you a much more realistic target to shoot for.
So here's what that looks like in practice. Let's say you want to have $60,000 a year to live on from just your investments. Well, your new target is $1.5 million. Want to bump that up to 80 grand a year? Now you're aiming for 2 million. And if you want that really comfortable $100,000 a year lifestyle, well, your new magic number is 2.5 million.
And really, if you take away just one thing from all of this, let it be this. The real goal isn't just to have a giant number sitting in a bank account. No way. Real freedom comes from building a system that creates a steady, reliable stream of income, cash flow, that lets you live the life you actually want to live. So, there you have it. The $1 million retirement myth is pretty much busted. Look, it's an incredible milestone for sure, but it's not the end goal anymore. The real question you need to be asking yourself isn't how can I save $1 million? The question is, how much money do I need coming in every year to live my best life? And the answer to that question, that's your real retirement number.